Hi everyone and welcome to our 7th tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be understanding HTML lists. So let's say you were wondering how to embed your lists in your document you're working on, and let's say you're working on a web page that is going to be educating people about maybe let's say COVID-19, and you want to have two types of lists. You want to have one list where you are showing people the guidelines, what they should practice. You also want to have another list of those students who actually chose to stay home. So in HTML, we have two types of lists. We have lists that are ordered, these kinds of lists that are numbered with 1, 2, 3, 4, and also have unordered lists that usually are marked with a bullet. However, you can style this using CSS or using inline styling to modify it to whatever that you may please. So let's start with unordered lists. To have unordered lists in your web page, what you do, you start with a tag that is called lists. Now this list by default, if I come on my page here and I refresh, you'll see that it will have a bullet on it. But the best practice is you start with declaring the type of list that you want to work with. And in this case, we said we want to work with an ordered list. So you start with an ordered list. Then remember, we said whenever you open a tag, you close it out. And after closing it out, then we have to put the lists here. So you can put in as many lists as possible. And we said these are lists of health guidelines. So let's say we want to say maybe stay home, safe, and then when we save and refresh, we see that we have our lists. Let me save and refresh, we see that we have our list called stay home safe. So you can have as many lists as you want, and you have noticed I've just put in these lists below. So these are the lists that I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and when I refresh on my page, I'll see that I have those 4 lists on my page, and that is how they do the unordered lists. Now the unordered list still can be further styled. If maybe you want to have a circle and maybe you want to have a square on it instead of having a bullet, you can also do this in CSS. We shall be covering it later on, but let me show you how you can style your lists inside your HTML document. Remember in the previous tutorials we talked about how you can add attributes to it. So I'm going to add an attribute of style to my UL document, and I'm going to style it, and I say list style type, and then a property. I'm going to, let's say, give it square. We have square, we have circle, and we have square, we have circle, we have none if you don't want anything on them, and we also have the disk. Let's save and refresh. So when I save and I refresh, you see that my bullets have turned from the bullets to actually the square. So let's change it and put it to a circle. When I put it on a circle and I save and I refresh, you see that I have my bullets and they are circled. And let's say I don't want to have anything on them. I'll just put there none property, and then when I save and I refresh, you see that I don't have any bullets on them. So for now, let's keep it there. Let's put there a circle, and let's save a circle on them. So ladies and gentlemen, let us also look at what they call ordered lists. Now ordered lists, we are going to order your lists from 1, 2, 3, 4, or A, B, C, D, depending on the kind of style that you are going to use. Let's say I want to have, and how you start, you say just OL, which is going to mean an ordered list. So remember, we said whenever you open a tag, you make sure you close it out. And how do we put lists inside the ordered or unordered lists? You say LI, then whenever you open the tag, make sure you close it up. And I'm going to give it a name of a student called Sumika Cyrus, and then maybe add another student called let's say whenever you open a tag, you close it out. So I'm going to maybe call it Ahawe Lemo, and then I'm going to add 2 more students. I'm just going to copy this and paste it, and have another student. Maybe I'm going to Gracious Olet. Then have let's say Gladys Ellen So when I save and I come on my browser and I refresh, you see that I have my lists ordered from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. So the difference between ordered lists is that it orders it from 1, 2, 3, 4, and unordered lists, it marks the lists with a bullet or circle depending on how you style it. So let us also look at how we can style the ordered list. So how we can style the ordered list, it's just simple. We just give it the type attribute, and we're going to give it a type of, let's say we want it to be marked with a Roman numeral and in lowercase. So this time we're going to mark it with Roman numeral and lowercase. So when I come on my document here and I refresh, I'll see that they are actually ordered from Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when I come and give it an uppercase and I save and I refresh, still they will be ordered that way. And when I come also and give it A, if I want to have alphabets, and save and I refresh, you see that it is actually styled. And maybe if I want to use uppercase numbering of letters, so that is how we give our type to the ordered lists. So ladies and gentlemen, these are the two types of lists in HTML5. We have the unordered list and the ordered list. And thank you so much for watching this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to be looking at the tables in detail so that you can actually get to understand more about them. My name is Ssendi Samuel. See you in the next video.